Let's begin. Welcome to this PowerPoint. I'll try and make it as interesting as possible. You might see some funny images during this presentation, but please remain serious. This is a very serious topic, and yeah, I hope you learn a lot. Cool. So fretboard freedom, the complete visual system. Start memorizing shapes, start seeing music. What does this mean? Bro, a lot of people be memorizing shapes out here. You don't want to do that. You want to understand them shapes and know how to build your own shapes. And that way, you're making music. So I'm going to show you how to do that. By the end of this lesson or presentation or this PowerPoint, your fretboard's going to look like this, and you're going to know how I get it to look like this. Cool. So, part 1, the foundations. This is too small for me. 1 second, guys. The foundation. So first we're going to look at the musical alphabet, fretboard basics, intervals and scale building, and that will give you everything you need to know to proceed further to the next section. Unlocking the neck. We're going to learn how to map the fretboard. We're going to know how to actually practice and use the pentatonic scale and how to flow through it. You know how I be doing all of this stuff. We're going to learn how to do that. Chord Craft, Diatonic vision, bruv, that's just seeing the major scale across the fretboard. We're going to learn how to build some basic chords. We're going to know their functions, and then we're going to be able to play some songs. Beautiful. Then lastly, I'll show you like what you could do to practice this and apply it. Like, I'll simplify. I won't give you like a load of stuff to do, but I'll like make it 4 points or so. And then takeaways and next steps. What you'll take away from the video and what you could do next. Let's get started. Foundations. The musical alphabet. Can everyone see this PowerPoint, by the way? Like, just type in chat. Before I move forward. But no one's typing. No one's typing. Alright, so the musical alphabet, yeah, it's very simple. It's just 7 letters, bro. If you know your ABCs, it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's not hard. Now, after G, the sequence just repeats itself. So, it'll be A, B, C, D, E, F, G again. Now, in between that, you got some unnatural notes, bro. These are called sharps and flats. These are going to be the notes that come in between, you know, A and B, you know, C and D. You know, I'm sure you've heard of A sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and so on. These are the 5 additional notes. But all you need to know for guitar is, it's just A to G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now, a sharp just means you go up by 1 fret. A flat just means you go down by 1 fret. So a sharp has the hashtag symbol in music. A flat has the tiny B. So after A, it would be A sharp. After C, it would be C sharp. After D, it would be D sharp, and so on. But like before B, no, after B, there's no sharp, as you can see on the diagram. It's just B to C. And after E, there's no sharp also, it's just E to F. So just remember, B and E don't have sharps. I don't want to go too fast. I'll try and pace myself. I'm a bit nervous, you see. It's my first time doing this. Yeah, B and E don't have sharps, bruv. That's all you need to know. So musical alphabet goes from A to G, and B and E don't have sharps. Fretboard basics, what do you need to know? You need to know how to map out the letters on the E string and the A string. We'll start with the E string. So if you played the open E string, that's an E note, bro. That's an E note, because you're just playing an E. But if you go up by 1 fret, just remember B and E don't have a sharp, so after E, it's just F. get some jaws in there. Cool. After F will be F sharp, but yo, we don't really want to memorize the sharps. We'll go straight to G, and that'll be on the 3rd fret. And then if you map the natural letters out, you got E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it just repeats itself. Right, so yeah, you don't want to memorize the sharps, just think E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Let you read that for 2 seconds. Oh, I should have worn a like black shirt, man. I don't like this green one. The black makes you look more professional. I'm gonna do a break and switch the shirt out. Alright, cool. Once you got the E string down, you want to do the A string. The A string's a little easier because it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So you want to map it out on the A string. And there's the diagram. Just like have a look at that. Rock a bow tie. I should have, man. I actually got a tie downstairs as well, man. I was in a rush because the thing started playing up and I didn't want to be late to this. I was still late anyway, but it is what it is. Cool. So basically, yeah, just map out the 7 natural letters of the musical alphabet on the E and A string. You need to know this. If you know this, you can map out all the other strings easily. And it's just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Don't worry about the sharps. So what's an interval, bruv? An interval is just the distance between 2 notes. There's 2 basic intervals you need to know. One's called a tone, one's called a semitone. A tone is when you go up or down by 2 frets, and a semitone is when you go up or down by 1 fret. Don't know why I put that image there, man. Anyways, a scale is just a sequence of notes that's arranged in a specific order of intervals from its root to octave. So what we're going to do now is build our first scale. And it's going to be like the most important scale you will ever need to know. The major scale. The scale we're going to build is the major scale. And I know there's plenty of other scales out there. There's Mixolydian, Aeolian, harmonic, minor, there's all sorts of scales, bro. But you need to know the major scale. Why do you need to know the major scale? Every other scale comes from the major scale, and every other chord comes from the major scale. Yeah, so see the major scale as God, bro. God created the world, in it. So like the major scale is the musical God. Alright, constructing a major scale. The first 2 intervals we learnt were tone and semitone. Tone is up or down 2 frets, semitone is up or down by 1 fret. So, the specific order of intervals that make a major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Yeah? So I'll say that again, just remember it. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. That's the formula for major scale. So let's play our open E string. Beautiful. From here, we know the first interval we need is a tone. So from our open E, which is here, I like get that in the camera. Technically, we're not like playing any string, but if we go tone up, we'll be on F sharp, which is the 2nd fret of the E string. There you go. And then next we need a tone, so we'll go tone up. We're on the 4th fret of the E string, and then semitone. We're on the 5th fret, and then tone. We're on the 7th fret, tone, 9th fret, tone, 11th fret, and semitone. We're on the 12th fret, bruv. There you've got an E major scale. Play, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So that's how you make a major scale from anywhere on the guitar. Just remember tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone. Oh my gosh, what have I done here? Alright, so, boom. We said that a scale is a specific order of intervals from its root to its octave. Our root note was E. As you can see on the diagram, I've labeled it. E is the starting point, so roots, beginning. Think of a tree, it's got roots. That's where it all starts. And then the specific order of intervals we've done is tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone. And then when we reach the last note, that's called our octave, and that's just playing the same note, just higher up in pitch. Cool. So quick recap, what we did was the E major scale. The root note gives you the name of the scale. The formula applied from the root note gives you the type of scale it is. And the formula we used was tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone. That makes a major scale. And you can do this on any instrument. Like, people ask me how on earth do I know how to play piano and, you know, maybe some other instrument. Bro, I'm just taking that theory of tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone, and just putting it on any instrument that has the same systems. If we wanted to do on the A string, we can do the same thing. Play an open A string note. That's your A note. And then from there, do tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone, and you've got an A major scale. Nice. B major scale, find B, that would be on the second fret of the A string. And then same thing there, you get the picture. You've got a B major scale. So this is the first thing you need to do. Like, I'll give you the link to this PowerPoint afterwards, but you only got two things really. Memorize where the 7 natural notes are on the E and A string, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and know how to construct a major scale anywhere on the guitar on one string. So from anywhere, bruv, just tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone. So any questions so far? Let me know in chat and I'll move on. Cool, no questions, yeah? It was a bit quiet today. Let's go. So the next section, unlocking the fretboard. I can't believe this video is gonna go on my YouTube afterwards. I don't have to edit anything though, I'm gonna try not to mess up. So, you wanna know how to map the fretboard, bro? Like, how can you know how to play an instrument if you don't understand how it works, bro? So, what we're going to do is, once we know how to construct a major scale, we're going to make our fretboard look like this, yeah? It looks a bit confusing, but I promise you it's not confusing. It's just common sense and some logic. So I'm gonna do all of this in G, because I know not everyone has electric guitars. Some people have acoustics, and G is the easiest key to play with. So let's do a G major scale. We're gonna start on the 3rd fret of the E string, that's a G note, and then from there construct a G major scale. Now with all of this on the diagrams, just take a note of how, like, I haven't said, oh, this is G, this is A, this is B, C, blah 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 blah, because I don't think like that. There's 12 scales, yeah, and if you had to memorize the notes for each of them 12 scales, bruv, you're gonna have a long day. And that's just major scales. Imagine memorizing the notes for modes, the notes for exotic scales, and all these other scales. It's just too long and it doesn't make any sense, right? So what you want to do is use notes to find your starting point, and then after that, just apply a formula. Obviously, the formula we're applying now is just tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone, and that'll make your life easier than thinking of G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, or A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. I wouldn't want to have to do that for every scale that I learn. So just think, root note, that'll give you the name of the scale, and then after that, apply a formula. Now we want to expand our knowledge of intervals. We know that the root note is G, but now I want you to see it as the 1. That's your 1, that's your starting point. 1 is the most important note, so don't lose track of it, yeah? That's how you're gonna like get good at soloing and all this other stuff in the future. The next note in our major scale will be 2. Then we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is still tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone, but now we're just applying numbers to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we know that the octave is the same note as 1, so we can see the octave as our 1 again. So whenever you're on 1 and you know where your 8th note in the scale is, you can just see it as 1 again, and it restarts from there. Making connections. I'm not into conspiracies, yeah? But you want to make connections in life because sometimes the government's be moving on a mad thing. Anyways, one of the most important skills you can have from this point onwards is making connections with these numbers. So you want to think like this with all these intervals. If 1 is here, 7 is behind 1. If 4 is here, 3 is a fret below it, and so on. Start making these connections and you'll just find it easier to map around and mess around on the fretboard without any difficulty. So just look at that diagram quickly. Our 1 is on the 3rd fret of the E string, but it's also on the 15th fret of the E string. And then behind that, there's 7, and then there's 6, and that's just 1 fret and then 2 frets away. So if we go back to the 3rd fret of the E string, we know 7's behind 1, so we can put it there, and we know that's the same note. And then we know 6 is 2 frets behind 7, so we can put 6 as the open E string. Just try playing that. From the 15th fret, that's your 1, and then you can go 14th fret, that's 7, and then 12th fret, that's 6. And then you can do the same thing starting from the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and then the open string. Same thing, same logic. So that's the E string mapped out more or less. After the 15th fret, it just restarts. So let's do the other strings. Your task, we're gonna play the 4th note, which is on the 8th fret of the E string. You have to find it on the A string now. So this note, find on the A string. First person to put on chat where it is on the A string. My chair's broken. Well done. Like, just have a go at that. Man said 3rd fret. Who said that? Let me see. Tobo. Well done, brother. Well done. Smart man. 3rd fret. If it's anyone's birthday today, then happy birthday, bro. Alright, so if you done this correctly, yeah. You would have found that it's on the third fret. So how would I have gotten this answer? Basically, I would have just played the A fret. I can hear it sounds like da, da, and then I'll go across the A string until I found it. That's not it. Da, that's not it. Da, that's not it. Da. Then I found it on the third fret, yeah? So on the third fret, bruv. So we can say that 4 is always above 1. You could play it going up, what, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets. But that's a bit long, so if we know we can play 4 right above 1 on the third fret, let's just do that. Now, what note is 2 frets above 4? We can see that it's 5. And then 6 is 2 frets above 5, so I think the next slide's going to show that. Okay, kind of is. Okay, so yeah. So look at the E string. We got 5, that's 2 frets above 4. We got 6, that's 2 frets above 5. We got 7, that's 2 frets above 6. And then if I was to use that logic onto the A string, I've got this. 5 is always 2 frets above 4, 6 is always 2 frets above 5, and so on. And then from 4, I know 3 is behind it, so I could say the second fret of the A string is 3. And then 2 frets behind 3 is 2, so the open A string can be 2. And if you use that logic, your fretboard will look like that. So yeah, just look at the E string, and I want you to see that it's just a pattern. All the notes are the same distance apart from each other. We're just using some logic to fill out the A string. Shall we move on? Let's quickly map out the D string. So make the connection that 1 is always above 5 and 3 is always 1 string up and 1 fret behind 1, right? So 1 is always above 5. Which means we can put 1 on the 5th fret of the D string, because as you can see, if our 5's there, we can put 1 above it. And this will be our octave. Okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, okay, cool. So if you look in the bottom corner of the screen, I've got an octave shape thingy. But if you look at the diagram at the bottom, from our root note, if you go up 2 strings and up 2 frets, you're at your octave, which is your root note again. So just look at how that shape is similar to the one on the diagram at the top above my head. So if you know all your notes on the E string, you can easily find the notes on the D string. Interval shapes will help you find notes faster. Over time, you'll make your own shapes the more you think intervallically. You can download my interval shapes here for free. The link's there. I'll send you guys the document afterwards. Alright, now I'll present to you 3 essential shapes. One of them I've already done. But the first one is called an octave. Here it is in the corner again. And if you know your notes on the E string, then just go up 2 strings and 2 frets to find your notes on the D string. So just have a look at that quickly again. Nice. The next shape you need to know is a 5th, and you can think of it as from your root note, just go up 1 string and up 2 frets. Okay, This is also known as a power chord. You might be familiar with that. The third is the next shape, and you can just think of that as go up one string and back one fret. Or you can just think of it as from your root note, go up 4 frets. I injured my finger today. My cat scratched it. This guy, man. Ah, this guy's not serious. He's not serious at all. Shouldn't you be doing some work? You're not replying to my messages on WhatsApp. Alright. So now we're gonna map out the D string. If we know that 1 is on the 5th fret of the D string, we can easily map it out by just using the same logic we did before. If 1's here, we could legit just do tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone across the D string to find our notes. And I've got a G major scale from there. And if I reverse engineer that, I know 7's behind 1, so that'll be the 4th fret of the D string. I know 6 is 2 frets behind 7, 2nd fret of the D string. And then 5 is 2 frets behind 6, so that'll be the 5th fret of, not the 5th fret, the open D string. Now we know 4 is above 1, so from the 5th fret of the D string, we can say that the 5th fret of the G string is 4. And then from there, we can map out the G string using the same logic. If we know 3 is 2 frets behind 4, we can put 3 there, then 2 would be 2 frets behind 3, 2nd fret of the G string, and open G string would be our 1. And then from the open G string, since it's a G major scale, we could do tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone. So yeah, just look at this diagram and I just want you to see how it's all symmetrical. It's all a pattern. It's not just a random bunch of notes, but the notes are always the same distance behind or above each other or around each other. 1 will always be above 5, 7 will always be 1 fret behind 1, 2 will always be above 6, and so on. So yeah, just take a minute or two to look at that and then I'll carry on. Nice. Okay, the B string. So far, everything's been symmetrical. Well, I just realized I've got like 80 slides left to do. Okay, let's do this. The B string. Everything's been symmetrical so far, but you need to take notice of the B string because when we get to the B string, our patterns move up by 1 fret. So far we've said that 4 is always above 1, but after we get to the B string, we have to move it up by 1 fret. So 4 would be... just look at the diagrams. I'm losing my words. So if our 1's on the 2nd fret of the G string, 4 will be right above it. Normally. But since it's on the B string, we move it up by 1 fret. And that's where 4 is. So just remember, simple rule, when you're moving towards the B string, we just move our patterns up by 1 fret. Hey Zeno, thank you. Appreciate that, mate. Next time, send £1,000, bro. So knowing this, yeah, we can map out the B string. Let's say our 1 is on the open G string. Our 4 would be on this 1st fret of the B string. And if we know that's 4, we can use the same logic to map it out. Above 4 will be 5, 2 frets. And 2 frets above 5 will be 6. 2 frets above 6 will be 7. And then semitone 1 again. That's G. And then we could do tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone from there. I'm not memorizing note names or anything, I'm just using the logic that we already know. And then after that, both of the E strings are the same, so you could just use the bottom E string to help you map out the top E string. So does that all make sense? Let me know in chat if you got any questions, if I need to repeat anything. But so far, we're just doing tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone all over the fretboard. Yes, Tobo. Yes, Yari. I don't even Tobo, that was Ray. Okay, so this is a quote from a famous person. 99% of guitarists don't ask me for sources. They feel trapped in small boxes. They know different systems, shapes, and guitar hacks, but they can't move freely or connect them across the fretboard. Learning how notes, octave, and intervals map across the neck gives you freedom. Suddenly, the guitar neck becomes a single connected system, not a collection of separate patterns. Buddha, namaste. Yeah. So if you know how to put the major scale across the whole fretboard, you can do amazing things with it. I'll show you how to in a second, don't worry. I just need you to understand the theory. Before I move on to the next section, let's take our major scale and condense it so it's in one area of the put a spit in bars, one area of the fretboard rather than the whole thing. The major scale we're gonna play is this one. The numbers underneath the frets represent what fingers to use. So you might see a tiny 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. That's just what fingers to use for this scale. So yeah, just remember that shape. We're going to be using this for most of the video. The pentatonic scale. What is the pentatonic scale? Okay, quick question. How many shapes, how many sides does a pentagon have? First person to answer gets a sticker. Yes! Well done, it's got 5 sides. So, the pentatonic scale has 5 notes. Who said 55? Yadi. No comment, bro. I'm gonna say that was a typo. What is a pentatonic scale? Yeah, it's a scale with 5 notes. Just now we did a major scale, that's called a diatonic scale because there's 7 notes. But the pentatonic scale has 5 notes. So how do we turn the major scale into a pentatonic scale? We just have to typos, don't watch it. We just have to remove 2 notes. That's gonna be the 4th and 7th note. So this was our scale just now. And when you remove the numbers 4 and 7, you got the pentatonic scale. Yeah? So look like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So see the formula of the major scale is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the formula for pentatonic is just 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This will be called G major pentatonic because G is our root note, our 1. And then from our 1, we apply the formula of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So now we need to know how to stack shapes. we can take this shape that we've just learned and do this shape. So once we're on our octave, which is just the same note on the high pitch, we can apply the same shape and get the same sound. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Have a little play of that. I'll strum a little chord for like 60 seconds. Just have a little play of the scale. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. This gives us an extended pentatonic scale, and these are the fingers I would use to play it. You don't have to learn all these scale shapes and whatnot, you just have to use a bit of logic. And you can stack this in different ways, I'll show you how to in a second. Now 1 is usually above 5, and we could have stacked this again, but remember when we're going towards the B string, we have to move up 1 fret. So our shape that we were stacking moves up by 1 fret, and have a little shot at playing this while I strum some chords. Same fingering, we're just gonna adjust at the B string. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Movement and freedom. Okay, so this is basically my secret sauce to moving about on the fretboard and doing all the stuff I can do. So what is freedom? Okay, if you get the reference in the top right corner, then you're goated. A lot of guitar teachers will teach guitar freedom as learning the K system, this guitar hack, that guitar hack, 1,000 scales, 10,000 million chords, this shape, that shape. But to me, it's all nonsense, right? This is what I got stuck in for so many years when I was trying to improve. Because, like, you know, there's all these things out there, but how do you put it all together to make music, right? Because that's the goal for all of us. Who said Naruto, man? This guy, man. This guy. You're not serious, bro. Anyways, when you're learning a language, right? You learn the alphabet first. Let's say we're learning English. We're going to learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. After you learn the alphabet, you then learn how to build words, fam. You learn how them letters work together. And then after you learn a few words, you make sentences. And then, you know, you can chat to someone, yeah? And then if you want to expand your vocabulary and get more advanced with English, you might study some Shakespeare, watch some movies, read some poetry, read plenty of books, and just try and copy the style of someone you like maybe Obama, I don't know. So music's literally the same thing, but we don't learn it like that. instead we learn all these little things here and there, but we don't actually learn how to create something from scratch. Like first you have to learn the musical alphabet. Cool, we've learned that. After you learn the musical alphabet, you know, learn how these intervals work together. And when you do, you can make words. Our words will be the pentatonic scale. We can take that, and then I can make sentences. Right? So yeah, first learn the alphabet, seeing the fretboard as the major scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Every word and sentence will come from the alphabet you learn, as we've demonstrated. Then learn how to make words. This is just manipulating the major scale to make different phrases, scales, chords, and so on that you'll do in the future. Lastly, put those words together in the right way to make sentences, which is making music. Like one thing I was thinking today, do you think people went up to Jimi Hendrix and said, yo, how'd you use the cage system, bro? Like Jimi was like, what do you mean cage system, man? I'm just playing music, fam. Right? And this is all this is. Major scale is the music you're gonna make. It's gonna create everything, bruv. Okay, so how do we actually navigate this? A common problem we've got is we like to start scales with our first finger, which is what we've been doing so far, to be fair. So when we end up on our pinky or some other finger, we get stuck and we don't know how to maneuver from there. So we'll quickly try and start with our first finger again. So what we're going to do now is a little exercise. I want you to play 1 with your middle finger. That'll be the 3rd fret of the E string. And then play 2 with your pinky on the 5th fret of the E string. And now you've run out of fingers, you can't play 3 on the 7th fret of the E string. So you have to figure out a different place to play 3. And whoever gets it first, just say in the chat where you found 3. First person to get it gets a thumbs up. Alright, basically play 1 with your 2nd finger. That's on the 3rd fret of the E string. Then play 2 with your pinky on the 5th fret of the E string. Now we can't play 3 because we ran out of fingers, so you have to find 3 on a different string, the A string. You said 2nd fret. Saw an advertisement and couldn't hear your question. Advertisement? Maybe I have to switch that off. I didn't know like live streams did advertisements. Yes, Yardi. Yes, it's 2nd fret. 2nd fret. Yes, Rezino. Well done. Yes, Tobo. So we've got this, yeah. We've got this. Our 3's on the 2nd fret of the A string. Yes, Mark. Curtis, how are you? How's life, man? Oh, my guitar's out of tune. Sorry about that. I literally put on new strings just for this video so I could be in the right tuning for it. I'm gonna take these strings off after. Alright, one second. Uh, Alright, uh, yo, respect, Yachty. Alright, so we found our 3 on another string. Second fret of the A string. And then we can put 6. If 6 is above 3, we can use the same logic and just put 6 above 3 on the A string. So now we've got this little shape here, and just have a little play of this. If we start with our middle finger, we travel upwards on the fretboard, vertically. I'm so sorry, let me tune in silence. There we go. So that's pentatonic, let's just say this middle center position. And if you start with your first finger, we travel to the right of the fretboard. To the right, to the right. Well, if the string goes out... 1 second, guys. New strings, am I right? Alright, starting with our first finger allows us to travel right. So this makes us travel to the middle vertically, and this finger makes us start to the right. And last but not least, we got left position. If you start with your pinky, you're going to travel to the left of the guitar. So have a little go at playing this. This string doesn't like me, man. Alright, so after that, we can see all the shapes like this. This is right position, middle position, and left position, right? Green, blue, and red. And then we want to practice connecting them. So this is what I do when I want to practice my hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides. Here's an example on the screen. Practice, just playing that tab. This is connecting right position with middle position. And it'll sound like this. The faster you get with it, you could do something like this. I use the hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides to get that speed. Thank you, Mark. Cools. Let's try middle into left. It'll look something like this. Mark's a real one. So yeah, just try that and just pay attention to how we're just connecting the shapes together. Who said I bet that was Ray, man. Mark, Ray's not a serious guy. Okay. That's Darth Vader. You know, my favorite movie, Star Wars. Alright, let's stack our shapes now. So on the screen, you can see middle position. That's the one we started with our middle finger. And I just want you to pay attention to how we've just stacked it from the octave. If middle position starts from 1, when we get to our next one, which is the octave, we can just stack it again. And it'll look like that. They're both the same shape. But it sounds a bit weird, so what's wrong with it? The last 2 notes are on the B string. Yeah, so don't forget the B string. We'd have to move the last 2 notes up by 1 fret, and that'll be the tab for it. This will be right position into middle position. Right because we start with our first finger, then middle because we start with our middle finger at the octave. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow. Alright, so we could do middle position into left position. So this is middle because we start with our middle finger, and then left position because we'll go with our pinky when we get to the top. So have a little shot at that. I should have added hammer-ons on the tab, but you can practice with hammer-ons if you want, it's up to you. But just use the correct fingers. And then left into middle would look like this, and you probably recognize the shape. Cool. So after you get used to stacking the shapes like this can create the 5 pentatonic shapes that we will know and love. Here I've highlighted it. Just try and look carefully at the different color coded sections. You've got green, which will be shape 1, blue, which would be shape 2, orange, shape 3, red, shape 4, and then purple, shape 5. And that's all of them together. So if you're watching this, just practice it as green section, blue section, yellow section, red section, and purple section. If you want to memorize the 5 shapes off by heart, and it's all just 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. This is what it looked like without my little doodles on top. Cool. So after this little section, yeah, this is the second mission you want to understand how you can use intervals to map out the fretboard and find the same note on different strings. This will be our octave shapes. Look at the bottom corner. There you go. And after that, be able to create the pentatonic scale from the major scale. That's just 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We take away the numbers 4 and 7. Then know how to stack the pentatonic scale in different ways. This is like taking right position and putting middle position on top of it, or left position and middle, and so on. And then you want to memorize the shapes that you figured out how to stack. So when I'm practicing and whatnot and I'm noodling, say I start right with right, I'll then turn that into a shape. So I'll turn the logic of, okay, I know it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then I'm stacking it into one big shape that I can use to kind of get from A to B really fast. And then if I can do that in other places, I can start creating my own shapes. So I'll do this with you guys. So if you did 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, let me go back to that page. This one. Yeah. So if you play that quickly, I know from 1 to get to 3, I just have to go up 1 string and then back 1 fret. So from the 1 on the 3rd fret of the E string, my 3 would be on the 2nd fret of the A string, right? So up 1 string, back 1 fret. So if I know my 3 is on the 9th fret of the D string, I can reverse engineer that and say, okay, if I go down 1 string and up 1 fret, I'm back at 1. So the 10th fret of the A string would be my 1 again. And then from there, I could literally copy and paste that shape that's on the screen there. And now I could do something like this, where I'm starting from the 3rd fret of the E string. I can just use that logic of knowing my intervals to start putting these shapes in different places on the fretboard. Is that Pink Panther? No. Let me see. It's Yoda, bro. It's Yoda. It's Yoda. I'm wearing green because I'm Yoda. Alright, Chord Craft. Oh, I went through that quickly actually. Nice. So we want to see the fretboard diatonically, and all that means is just seeing the fretboard as the major scale like we've just done. Again, this is all G major. Don't see it as some random nonsense or some matrix or something like that. It's just a repeating pattern across the fretboard. The numbers are always the same distance away from each other. And then to turn this into a pentatonic vision or pentatonic perspective, just take away the numbers 4 and 7. So chord construction. So far we've taken the major scale and used it to map out the fretboard to build a pentatonic scale. Now we're going to use it, is that Bob the Builder? Now we're going to use it to build chords and then songs. First you need to know the condensed version again, and this is what we're going to be using to make them chords. And this is called harmonizing the major scale. Harmony just means stacking notes on top of each other, and a chord is 3 or more notes played at the same time. So the first chord we're going to build is a triad, and the 7 notes within the major scale, so this will grant us 7 chords. First we start on a note, so if you put your first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, that's our G note, and then we'll skip the next note and then land on the next note. Once we've done that, we'll determine the distance between our first note, our root note, and then the note we've landed on. So does anyone know the distance between our root note and that note? Let me know in the chat. First person to get an answer gets 2 thumbs up. Who said that? Tobo. Well done, lads. Well done, well done, well done. Major 3. Alright, where's that button? Yeah, so in the bottom corner you can see a major third. You can do it two ways. You can do it across one string, up 4 frets. Or you can go down a string and back 1 fret. And yep, it's a major third. Then after that, from the third, excuse me, we skip the next note and land on the next. So the note that we've landed on, when we determine its distance to our root note, it's a fifth, right? If you look at the diagram in the bottom corner, we can see that it's a fifth because it's up 1 string and up 2 frets from our root note. Now, so far we've just got something called an arpeggio, which is just playing the notes of a chord 1 note at a time. But we want a chord, so how do we turn it into a chord? We have to stack the notes on top of each other. So if we know that 3 is also on the 2nd fret of the A string, we can put our 3 there. But 5 is also on the A string, so we'll have to figure out how to put our perfect 5th onto the next string below. Now if you look at the diagram in the bottom right corner, the top one, that's our perfect 5th shape, and we can go from our root note, go 2 strings down and back 3 frets for a perfect 5th. So that'll put us on the open D string, and it'll look like this. We've got a G chord. Let me have some green tea. Okay, so after this, yeah, you know, we know how to make a basic chord. The root tells us the name of the chord, and then the third will give us a happy sound, and then you can see the 5th as something neutral. It doesn't give us a sound, it just amplifies what's already there. So remember, 1 is just a major chord. Now if we start on the 2nd note of our scale, we skip the next note and then land on the next note afterwards. We want to determine the distance between that note and our root note, which will be 2 now. And this is called a minor third. If you look at the diagram in the right corner, the distance is a minor third, and this gives you a sad sound. Easy way to hear it clearly is just play a major third and a minor third together. Happy, sad, happy, sad. My chair's broken, man. It keeps going down. Alright, boom. Let's keep going, let's keep going. We're nearly done, lads. We're nearly done. Nearly. So we go from our flat 3, which will be on the 3rd fret of the A string. Then we skip the next note and land on the next, and then determine its distance to our root note, and this is a perfect 5th. From our root note, the 5th fret of the E string, the 7th fret of the A string is a perfect 5th, and use the diagram in the bottom right to see it. But again, if we don't fix up the notes, we're going to play as an arpeggio. So far the root and the flat third are nicely stacked on top of each other, so we just have to move the 5th up by 1 string. And if you use the diagram on the bottom right, if we go up 2 strings and back 3 frets, we can put our 5th there. So this will give us an A minor chord. Our root note is called A. The flat third tells us it's a minor chord, so we'll have a sad sound. And the 5th is just again to amplify the sound of the chord. Then I will do this is the last one, I promise. You just have to do this for all the notes of the major scale. But from the third, we play that, we skip the next note, land on the next, and determine its distance from our root note. We know this is a minor third. And then skip the next note, go to the next note, determine its distance. It's up 2 strings and back 2 frets, so it's going to be a 5th. So 3 gives us a minor chord. The root note tells us it's B, and then the minor third tells us it's minor, and then the 5th amplifies the sound. Cool. Then the next one's going to be C. You can play like this. And then the next will be D. You can play like this. And then the next will be E minor. You can play like this. Okay, so the last chord in the key is the only weird one because it's a different type of chord. So we're gonna stack our major scale on top of each other. We're just taking the same scale we did earlier, but putting it between 2 octaves. So we'll start from 7, skip the next note, and land on the next, and determine its distance. And if you use the bottom diagram on the right, it's a minor third. And then from there, if we skip the next note and land on the next, the distance is a little bit different now. This is going to be called a diminished 5. This is when you take a perfect 5th and lower it, but that's what it is. And then on its own, we've got this shape. That type of diminished sound. And it will give us this chord. F sharp diminished. So just to recap, yeah, why is it called a diminished chord? Basically, why is it called a diminished? The third turns something major or minor. And if you listen carefully to the sounds, major sounds like this, happy. Minor sounds like this, sad. But diminished sounds horrible, bro. Now, as for why it's called diminished, bruv, I don't make the names for this, but diminished is when there's a flat 5 in the chord that you have. Because it's the flat 5. Normally the 5 adds that stability. It grounds the chord and makes it sound bigger. But when you flatten the 5, just imagine you're taking that stability away, and then you've got the total opposite, which just sounds like chaos. But that's what diminished sounds like. T40, yo, what go on? Welcome. Okay, cool, let's move on. So yeah, all you have to remember is that harmonizing a major scale is when we just turn that scale we've got into chords, and harmony is just stacking notes on top of each other. Then after that, you want to remember the pattern of chords we've got. Within the major scale, we've got major chord, minor, major, minor, and the last chord is diminished. The formula for a major chord is 1, 3, and 5, and the formula for a minor chord is 1, flat 3, and 5. and then diminished 1, flat 3, and flat 5. The flat 5 makes it diminished. Now I'm not gonna make you play it as track. That's Lando Calrissian. He's like one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Anyways, moving on. Chord functions. Within a key, ours will be G since we're doing this all within the G major scale. There are 3 chord functions that chords can play in this key. This will be useful for making chord progressions. The tonic just means stability. It makes you feel safe at home. However, subdominant gives you that feeling of movement. So it makes a song move somewhere it's traveling. And dominant creates the feeling of tension, like, yo, oh no, the plane's about to crash. So what chord does what? Within a key, 1 and 6 give stability, 2 and 4 give movement, 5 and 7 give tension, and 3 I've left out, but 3 can be a tonic or dominant because it shares notes from other chords. But that's another story. For now, just 1 and 6 stability, 2 and 4 movement, and 5 and 7 tension. These are chords. I've done them as bar chords because I don't want you to be playing triads. I know it's a bit tedious. And that's all of the chords in the key of G. So let's try and make some music. We're gonna make some basic chord progressions. 1, 4, 5 is common. I'm sure you heard the song, what's it called? Brown Eyed Girl. You know that song. It's by Vance or someone. That's just 1, 4, 5. 1 would be G, the 4th chord would be C, and the 5th chord would be D. Now an important thing to note with these numbers, sometimes it won't specifically be 1, 4, 5, but 1, 4, 5 will be the framework for the song. So they'll be using those chords, but it might not be specifically 1, 4, 5. They might do 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5 or something like that. But it'll be too long to kind of write that down, so you could just say, yeah, it's a 1, 4, 5 progression, right? You got 6, 5, 4, 3, which is one of my favorites. That's E minor, D, C, B minor. Six, 2, 3, you can get some nice R&B stuff from that. So yeah, just have a go at playing 6, 2, 3. I think that's a nice and easy one. E minor, A minor, and B. Jesus, is that Neo Soul? Yes, brother. Yes, Gold Smudge. Erin, how are you doing? 6, 2, 3. Just have a shot at playing that, and then I'll move on in like 2 minutes. Kanye West should what? Kanye West should sample you. He should, innit? Now on its own, I know it might sound boring, like, oh, C minor, A minor, and B minor. But when you start connecting these pentatonics and diatonics with those chords, you can start doing some can start doing all of these other stuff with it, when you can kind of see all of these notes behind your chords. But if you learn chords on their own, it's kind of impossible to do that, because you don't know what's happening behind that. But you guys know it's just the G major scale behind the notes I'm playing. Alright, so after you've done this here, basically you want to know how to construct chords from each note in the major scale. You know how to do that. Just start on a note, skip a note, and then land on the next, determine its distance, and so on. Then memorize the tonality of each chord within the major scale. There's only 7 to memorize, it's not that hard. You got major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Understand the chord functions that make your chord. Understand your chord functions, and then make your own chord progression. So on there I gave examples 1 4 5 6 2 3 6 5 4 3 and so on. But see if you can make your own and just jam. If you know the functions, then when you want to make tension, you could land on 5. I could stay on 5. And then to bring it back home, stability, I could land on 1. If I want to add movement, I could go to 2. More movement, go to 4. Then I could finish on 6. Then I could add tension, go to 7. Then I could just bring stability again and land on 1. So that's how chords work, and if you really get this down, you could just sit there and jam for days. That's what I do, and then when you connect with all the notes behind it, you can make a chord progression more interesting than what's on the screen. Let's move on. Practice and application. Easy. Objectives. This is all you need to know from this PowerPoint. So firstly, you want to be comfortable with locating any note on the E or A string. That's going to tell you how you can find notes on the other strings. And then if you look in the bottom right corner, you can just use octave shapes like these to find the notes on different strings. And then you want to be able to create a major scale from those notes. Tone, tone, semitone, tone to tone, semitone. And then know how to play major pentatonic from those notes. This will be, your pentatonic scales. And then just flow through those pentatonics as well. I'm just using slides to get from shape to shape. I'm not doing anything crazy, just using slides, hammer-ons and pull-offs. Understand how to build basic triads and make basic chord progressions. So that's just chord functions and all of that stuff within a key. Step by step. Oh, I forgot I did this. Okay, yeah. So step by step practice plan. When you're practicing, bro, for 5 minutes, just learn the notes on the E and A string. You can use flashcards or random note generator. If I said play a G note, that's on the 3rd fret of the E string, or it could be on the 10th fret of the A string. If I said play a D note on the E and A string, that's the 10th fret of the E string, or the 5th fret of the A string, and so on. So practice that for like 5 minutes. Remember, don't learn the sharps, just learn the other notes. If you need a sharp, bro, find G and then sharpen it. If you want A sharp, just find A and sharpen it. So rather than revising all 12 notes, just learn the 7, and if you need a note, just sharpen what of the notes you need. Major scale building. Pick any note from the E and A string and build a major major string, major scale from scratch from there. So if you said, yo, Gabe, play a D major scale, I could find D on the A string. From there, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone. Oh, man, I can't edit that out. I didn't want my voice to crack on live, bro. Man, okay, cool. But anyways, from that D note on the 5th fret of the A string, you could do a major scale in the condensed way that we did, or do it across one string. Same with the 10th fret of the E string, and so on. Do that for like 5 minutes. Interval chain. This is the one that you want to focus on. So I'd pick an interval, let's say major third, yeah, and I'd practice over a backing track on YouTube. We've done all of this in. We're here for the voice cracks. Who said that? Oh man. Oh. But yeah, I'll go on YouTube, type in G major backing track, 100 BPM or 60, depends. It doesn't really matter if it's too fast. If it's too fast, slow it down, obviously. And then there's 2 ways to do it. So there's the logical way. This will train you to find the intervals. So this is the left, right, center stuff we were doing. So okay, I'm in right position. Okay, I know my octaves here. I can do right position again. I know 1 is upper string and up 1 fret. So the 10th fret of the A string. I could do right position again. I could go back. Middle position, left position. Remember the B string. Or you could just take the 5 pentatonic shapes and do it like this. So I would think, okay, I'm targeting 3. I won't think every single interval. My brain doesn't work like that. Sometimes it depends on the scenario. If I have to lock in, then yo, best believe I'm seeing the fretboard like I'm Neo fam. But if I had to practice, I've got a backing track, and then I'll just practice with this one shape 1 pentatonic, finding 3. And so on. Once I'm comfortable with doing it with shape 1, I'll move on to shape 2, and then I'll find 3 with both of those shapes using the principles of using different fingers to navigate the fretboard. So on. So I'll just practice connecting or targeting 3 in shape 1, 2, and then I'll do the same thing with shape 3 and 4 and 5 until like I can target 3 within those 5 shapes. You can add numbers 4 and 7 to make it diatonic, so you get some extra colors within it. Don't focus with speed. Don't focus on speed with all of this, but focus on just making it sound as smooth as possible, using hammer-ons, pull-offs, and styles to kind of flow between the shapes. If you want to do alternate picking and pick each note and so on, then do so. But for me, even when I'm practicing over backing tracks, so whenever I play guitar, to be fair, because it's pentatonic most of the time, I'm just thinking like that. And the main 2 intervals I'd get you to target are 3 and 5. The rest are important, but I think when you have 5, you can easily get to 1 again. And when you have 3, you can easily get to 4 or 6 if you want. Triad creation. So just pick any note on the guitar and make a triad out of it. So if you said, yo, make a D major chord, I could find D, which would be the 10th fret of the E string. And then from there, do 1, 5, 1, 3, 5. D major triad, or I could do it on the 5th fret of the A string, or I could do it on the 12th fret of the D string, or I could do it on the 7th fret of the G string. Oh my goodness. There we go. So just practice creating triads on different strings like that. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes and so on. But make sure you understand it. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I can just do it like that. Like, I'm not God. But just have the understanding of how to do it. Because most of the time you're not gonna, suddenly be able to play triads like a madman. But say a song you're playing is in one key, you'll figure out a set group of triads that you might want to use. And then for that specific song, you might think, okay, yeah, I've got the triads mapped out for that song specifically. Let me just use those triads for that song. Just have the understanding. That's the most important part. And milestones, bruv. There's only 4 things that you need to be able to do this comfortably to track your progress. Instantly locate the notes on the E and A string, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Play the major and pentatonic scales anywhere. So if someone said, yo, we're in the key of A sharp, find A sharp on the E string, which will be the 6th fret. And then from there, do your major scale. Or your pentatonic. You're just copy and pasting it everywhere. Everything we've just learned, you're just copy and pasting it, just choosing a different root note. Build triads in any key. If someone says we're in the key of A, you can do an A major triad. Let me take off that. You can do a B minor triad, C sharp minor, and then D major, then E major, and then F sharp minor, and then G sharp diminished, and then back to A. Low talkage. Alright, takeaways and next step. I need that. Download that. Hello. I need that alternate picking circ. Bro, I'm not even alternate picking, fam. Like, I think I've only become good at alternate picking recently, but most of the time I'm just using hammers and pull-offs, man. I only alternate pick if I really have to. Drill this system in until you can see it clearly. Use it backing tracks, flashcards, and whatever you need. That sounds kind of mad reading that back. My thumbs on. Learn how to build more complex chords. You know now that all you need is your root note and your formula. Everything in music is literally root note and your formula. So scales, just find your root note and then your formula afterwards. Same with chords, your root note and then formula. Everything's just formulas. You don't need to memorize shapes, this system, that system, and all of this stuff that's out there. Just know your root note and then the formula you need on top of that. You can look at harmonizing the major scale in 7th if you want. The top right corner is the Death Star. I like Star Wars. Apply it to songs, bruv. So, why is bruv talking about? Bro, you should have joined way earlier, man. Apply it to songs, so see if you can figure out the keys and chords as numbers within the songs you might already know. Most pop songs follow a combination of 1, 4, 5, 6. So, yeah, most songs out there is probably just G, C, D, A minor or something. A good song you can look up is Brown Eyed Girl by The Vance or something, and see if you can figure out the chords for that. Or literally just go on Google and search up songs in the key of G, then find one, and then go on YouTube, play it, and see if you can find out what chords are playing for that song. Record yourself practicing, you'll hear what you need to improve on. I need to do this a lot more myself, but you'll hear little things that you might think, oh, I could do this better, and improve on it. And work your ass off, bro. Like, a lot of people might be searching up, oh, guitar hacks, how to memorize the major scale in 7 minutes, how to learn this in one video, and it's like, bro, in the word learning, there's the word earning. So you need to earn it, bro. Practice. That's all. And ironically, practicing is the fastest way you're going to learn something. If you start going on all these videos out there and, you know, just looking for quick ways to learn something, it's going to take you longer to get to that goal you want. So if you just put your head down and say, okay, let me learn the notes, let me learn these intervals, let me learn how these are all constructed, you'll be able to just own the instrument literally because you understand it, right? Okay, shout out to my thing, innit? If you want lessons, I've got over 100 where you can learn all of this stuff in a structured way. And yeah, the link's right there. I'll show you how to like, do all the stuff that I could do. Yeah, learn twice as fast, bro. Like, skip all the jargon that's out there. My strings out soon. But yeah, the link's there if you want to learn, like, join. I can't wait to take these strings off, man. Anyways, is there any questions from this beautiful first presentation I've ever done? You can ask me anything. Sorry, that must be so annoying, me just tuning while the thing's on. Bro, someone better have a question, fam. Because I know you've all been paying attention. How many guitars do I have? And what's my favorite? Bro, 1 second, bro. I'll show you my guitars, man. So my first guitar is this. It's a bit broken, as you can see. I did too many experiments on it. Well, this ain't even my first guitar. This was like my third guitar. The other ones, you don't want to know what happened to them. But I kind of took out everything and started like seeing how guitars work. The second one, this was a Charvel. I set it on fire because I thought it'd look cool. It does look cool. I miss it kind of, but I took it apart because I really like this pickup. So I took it out and soldered it onto the guitar I've got now. I've got an acoustic guitar, but I borrowed it to one of my students. But this really has a really nice neck. It's really thin, but I kind of like it thick. Pause. I like it in the middle. And then I've got this guitar, which is my main driver. And then this is the Charvel pickup that I put into it. So in total, I've had like 8 probably my lifetime, but I mashed them all up. So now this is the only guitar I'm keeping, and this is the only guitar I'm using now. I don't think I need a new guitar after this. What was I saying? Not about the lesson, but you personally. Me personally. One sec. Alright, you see chords as letters, not numbers. Nah. I only see the root note as a letter, but the rest is just numbers to me. Like, if you told me play E minor 7, I'm not gonna say, yo, I'm playing E, B, E, G, and then B. That's just long, bruv. So for me, it's like, okay, here's E, here's my fifth, here's my root, here's my flat 3, and here's my fifth. It's the formula that will give me the color I want. If I wanted to turn it happy, I might say, okay, here's my root, here's my third, here's my seventh, here's my octave. Yeah, so the root note I'm only using to find out where to start. Then after that, it's just the formula. Playing bar chords on my acoustic tires out my fingers quick. Should I get a guitar with lower action or practice or tough out? Bro, when I started, I had a terrible acoustic guitar and the action was so high. But I found now, like, I play better because I just brute forced it. I didn't have a good acoustic guitar when I started. So if you got the money, bro, I'd say just get a better guitar, man. Like, just make your life easier. But if you can't, then just brute force it. Caged, aka chord inversions, yes. Caged, no, fam. No. Because caged is just what I'm showing you. It's just the major scale. If you understand the major scale, then you can use caged as a shape system to help you. Then fine. But if you're using caged on its own, then you're not going to know how it relates with, like, the notes in the background. You won't know functions, and rather than thinking, okay, this is 1, 3, 5 and so on, you're just thinking, oh, this is a C shape, this is an A shape, this is a G shape, this and you don't want to think like that. You want to know how these chords are constructed so you can manipulate them in your own way. I can take the C chord and turn it into C minor if I want. That's gonna be hard, but cage doesn't work with minor chords. Exactly. Diminished chords and all sorts of chords. You're better off learning how to construct the chords from scratch. But yeah, I'd say inversions are much better. Man, bar chords are how you become a man. Yeah. Having a shit guitar is a rite of passage. Yeah, man. Cage gives you freedom. Bro, the name's literally Caged, bro. Like, if it said uncaged, then I'd think, okay, yeah, cool, I'm listening. But Caged. Because my problem is, when I was learning, you know, I'd see the cage system everywhere and I'd think, okay, how do I take the cage system and... Cage ain't gonna show me that, bro. But when I learned that, yo, it's just intervals and I can connect them anywhere and I just add a bit of logic, it's like, oh, damn. Now it's much easier. I don't have to learn cage. Oh, you're telling me those same intervals build the chords that I want. Oh, cool. You're telling me those same intervals build those inversions. Oh, you're telling me those same intervals build them sounds that I love to hear. It's like, why am I learning cage than this system and watching them guitar hacks when, yo, I've got the thing. It's like monotheism, bro. It's literally like monotheism. Like, if you deep it, the major scale is like God. And that creates everything in the world. Literally creates your chords, your scales, your everything. Let there be light, bruv. But when you start learning this system, that system, this hack, that hack, it's like worshipping idols, bro. Like, you're learning everything else other than the thing that created everything, right? Does that make sense? That's why I say the major scale is the most important scale, because everything literally comes from it when you know how to use it. Alright, bruv, I'm about to step outside the curriculum. What's the concept behind going through those bro, literally everything I've shown in this video, man. Like, I promise you, I'm not doing anything complex. The only thing I'm adding, I guess, is triplets. Like, in my head, I'm just thinking 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, because that'll give me the illusion that I'm playing faster than I actually am. And then I combine it with arpeggios here and there. Oh. But how do you choose what? But how do you choose what to repeat to sound sweaty? Bro, like, if this is 1 2 3 let me, I can't really go back to the side. But 1 2 3 5 6 is major pentatonic, right? 1 2 3 5 6. That's the 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret of the E string, and then yeah, it's the rhythm. It's the rhythm, and then just stacking those shapes in different ways. Use the K shapes and learn the major, minor, pentatonics, dominant, 7 scales within the shapes. Use the K shapes and learn the major, minor, pentatonics, dominant, 7 scales within the shapes. You could learn the major scale, learn the chords, then learn how to construct a major, minor, dominant 7, your pentatonics. With the major scale, it's all within the I should have made a slide for this. Thanks, bro, though. Thanks. Like, my point is, the major scale is what makes the cage system. So it's better off just to learn the major scale, and then all of these things are a byproduct of the major scale. Because the cage system doesn't make minor, major pentatonics dominant. If that makes sense. But the major scale does that. What do you play when someone says play something? Bro, it depends. It depends. First, I'll be like, okay, do you want me to play a song? Because 9 times out of 10, I can't play songs. Like, if you told me to play Rihanna, Umbrella, I wouldn't know how to play it. I'd have to listen to it quickly. But if someone says play something, you know, I'm just here like my Jimi Hendrix stuff, innit? The trick is, yeah, you always gotta play something basic, because you don't know who's watching. When next man that plays guitar comes, that's when you want to be like. I'm saying, like, you gotta hold the sauce in before, you know, someone comes and shows you up. Or if a girl tells you to play something, bro, what's that song? You know, Die With a Smile. I just woke up from this dream where you and I had to say goodbye, and I don't know what it all means. Yeah, you play that if a girl asks you to say something. It works, that's how I... Bro, each to their own, innit? But if it works for you, then perfect. Please don't... So any more questions? I'm gonna be on, I don't know how long I should stay on, But ask me anything, ask me anything. Take me on a trip, I'd let you go someday. Yeah, American boy. Well, I'm not cool, man. I'm a lame guy. I'm goofy. Make a new version. English boy. When people ask me where I'm from, like, it's a weird question because I don't feel English sometimes. But I don't feel African. It's like, it's hard to answer. Like, I could easily say I'm British, but I don't feel like I'm British. Anyone ever feel like that? Bruv, you speak the Queen's English, it's okay to... I don't, bro. I don't. I'm like, bruv, wagga one, famalama ding dong. I don't speak the Queen. Unless I've got a job interview. But other than that, nah, man. You can be whoever you want to be. I see a lot of problems with that. There's a lot of people that think like that, you know. Is Hendrix your favorite? To be fair, I don't even like Hendrix's music like that. I like his softer songs because I'm a chill guy like that. I like them big open type of ambient sounds. But I like his style. I like how I can, you know, marry the two and do my own thing with it. I can't play like him, but my favorite is Alan Holdsworth. That's where you'll see me doing all this like stuff. Like I really love it. I love them like weird out of key chord changes. I forgot it. I'll stay for like 2 more minutes and then, yeah. If there's any more questions, then let me know. But thank you for tuning into this live presentation of goodness. No problem, Turbo. Thank you for joining. Oh, respect, bro. Respect, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Take care, man. Hope you have a good evening. You know what? Let me see if I can put a backing track on. I want to do Bold as Love. I'm scared like I'll bend the string and then go out of tune. Nah, I won't do it. I won't do it. found value from this, then like and comment, share this, and yeah, if you've got any questions, email me. Join Guitar Alchemy and learn cool guitar stuff. Thank you for joining, and I don't know if I'll do this again. Maybe. I don't know, we'll see. But peace, man. Have a good evening.